There are these invisible forces all around us, shaping pretty much everything we do. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on two of the big ones: pressure and levers. These are the secret physics hiding in the tools you use every single day.
So, to get us started, I've got a question for you. It might seem a little impossible at first, but have a look. Which one of these do you think puts more pressure on the ground? A massive elephant or a tiny stiletto heel?
If you said the elephant, hey, you're not alone. That's what most people would guess. But you'd actually be wrong. Believe it or not, the answer is the stiletto. And I promise by the time we're done here, you'll know exactly why.
To solve this little puzzle, we have to uncover our first secret. It's all about getting a handle on pressure. And the key is that pressure isn't just about how much force there is, it's about how focused that force is. Here it is, the key to the whole thing. The scientific definition of pressure is just the force divided by the area it's pushing on. So you can have a gigantic force, but if you spread it out over a huge area, the pressure is actually pretty low. But flip that around, and even a small force on a teeny tiny area can create an incredible amount of pressure.
Okay, so this is where the numbers really tell the story. The elephant's force, its weight, is enormous, around 30,000 newtons, but that weight is spread out across 4 big feet. Now look at the stiletto. The force is way, way smaller, but check out that area. It's practically a pinpoint, and that is what changes the entire game. When you actually run the math, the results are, well, they're just staggering. The pressure from that one little stiletto heel comes out to a whopping 3 million pascals. That's the unit we use for pressure. 3 million. Honestly, that's why getting stepped on by a stiletto would hurt so much more than an elephant's foot. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? It is not even close. That stiletto heel is exerting a mind-boggling 40 times more pressure than the elephant. It's all because it concentrates all that force into one tiny, powerful spot. And we use this principle all the time, probably without even realizing it. If you want to reduce pressure so you don't sink, you just increase the area. That's exactly what snowshoes and those big tractor tires do. And if you want to increase pressure to pierce something, you shrink the area way down. That's the whole point of a nail, a knife, or a needle. All right, so that's secret number 1. Now let's talk about our second secret: hacking your own strength. I mean, how is it possible for a regular person to lift something that's way heavier than they are? Well, the answer is a simple, ancient, and absolutely brilliant invention: the lever.
The lever is one of the oldest and greatest inventions in human history. It's just a simple machine, really, a rigid beam that pivots on a point we call a fulcrum. But what it does is incredible. It acts as a force multiplier, letting you use just a little bit of your own effort to move a massive load.
And the magic is all in this simple, elegant formula: the law of levers. It's all about a trade-off. See, if you want your small effort to lift a big load, you just have to apply your force farther away from that pivot point than the load is. It's this beautiful, powerful balance that lets us, well, literally move mountains.
So, where can we find these things in action? Well, once you know what you're looking for, you'll start to see that levers are absolutely everywhere. They're like your everyday physics toolkit.
Just think about a bottle opener. The edge of the cap is the pivot point, or the fulcrum. The part lifting the cap is the load, and your hand way at the other end is applying the effort. Your tiny little lift gets multiplied into a force that's strong enough to bend metal. A wheelbarrow works the same way. It's just set up a little differently. The wheel is the fulcrum, the heavy stuff is in the middle, and you lift the long handles to multiply your own strength. But this is where it gets really clever. Levers aren't just for multiplying force. They can also magnify distance. With a fishing rod, right? Your hand moves just the little bit, but the tip of that rod whips through this huge arc to send the line flying. And you know what the most amazing part is? Your own body is just a masterpiece of levers. Your arm, your jaw, even your head nodding up and down. It's all happening thanks to these simple, brilliant machines. So, let's tie this all together. We've talked about the intense focus of pressure and the clever trade-offs of levers. What's the big idea that really connects them both?
When you get right down to it, both pressure and levers are just different ways we figured out how to manipulate force. They're both force multipliers. One works by focusing a force into a tiny point, and the other works by trading distance for strength. They are the invisible physics that let us do impossible things: to cut, to pierce, to lift, and to build our entire world.
So now that you can see these hidden forces in the tools all around you, from the knife in your kitchen to the bottle opener in a drawer, I'll leave you with one final thought. What force multiplier will you end up using today?